On this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic, we asked the question, should we call out white supremacists? Should we call them cracker-ass crackers and white devils? All that and more on this episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic.
First of all, let me tell you something. Lamont is just full of shit.
Sometimes my mama said, when you don't have nothing nice to say, you should be quiet.
People say that Stephen A. is a coon. You agree with that? Everybody got quiet on that one? Okay. Go ahead.
Rudy Giuliani practices voodoo. What? So he put a voodoo hex on my girl, Hillary, and that's why she got woozy. And the Secret Service had to prop her up and put her in the van.
But take us to a break, my dude.
It was voodoo, son.
I don't know about that voodoo.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is Three Black Guys with a Mic. This episode of Three Black Guys with a Mic is being brought to you by Wendy's. Wendy's has changed the value game all over again. Today, grab yourself a 4 for $4. A juicy junior bacon cheeseburger or crispy chicken BLT, large fry, 4-piece nugget, and a drink. You can always get it fresh, never frozen, at a participating Wendy's. Offer not valid in Alaska and Hawaii. Now let's start the show.
All back on
Hey man, I got my tickets already to see Nas and Lauryn Hill with Chronix and Hannibal Buress, and I'm just trying to see if she out here showing up for dates or not.
Hey man, Lauren is an artist. Lamont Spud don't know how to deal with talent.
Listen, if R. Kelly can go through what he go through and show up for shows, Lauryn Hill can show up for shows.
Listen, man, did y'all see Robert on the internet trying to smoke that? First of all, hold on.
This is a commercial right here. This is a commercial right here.
First of all, Robert, you supposed to know how to light the doggone cigar, first of all. Any real cigar smokers that are out there in these streets, first of all, we know that the cigar was not lit properly. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the first thing.
I need you to get you a butane lighter, my brother. Butane lighter.
Yeah, let's get the proper burn going first, Playboy. And I get the whole ring gauge. You trying to be in the 70s and 72 ring gauge, but you don't need all of that, Robert. Come on, dude.
Listen, only the Cuban women put the 72 ring gauge in their mouth for the pictures. You don't see nobody out here buying those 72 ring gauge.
Dude, I ain't gonna front. I don't even know if they normally, like, if you go to a regular spot, if they sell that. Like,
that's what I'm saying. The only place you see those type of ring gauges is when the Cubans or the actual cigar rollers are rolling them those joints. They not out here selling. You don't go to any regular cigar shop and they got a 72 ring gauge. You got those must be the fake Habano boys.
Look, listen, man.
Kelly.
And then when he started choking, and then listen, we can't really go hard on Robert because I done choked on a La Gloria once or twice. Let's keep it 100. You get the right.
No, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was just so upset at, like, dude, like, I don't, like, you're not, the tobacco isn't properly lit. You don't get a good burn. Your ash ain't gonna be right, Playboy. Let's start with the basics of how you're supposed to properly address a cigar. And that wasn't it, Robert. Come on, man. You know better.
Second of all, Robert, if you've been smoking cigars that long, you need a little ventilation in that car. You got all the windows up, B. Like, come on, R. Kelly. I need you to bring the windows down just a little bit. I know you out there scouting, but I need you to bring.
He's certainly scouting.
I need you to
scouting.
I need you to bring the windows down a little bit.
He's certainly scouting. He's looking left and right.
Come on, man. Let's be nice, man. Come on, man. It's alleged that he was scouting. You know what I'm saying?
I just said he was scouting. I didn't say what he was scouting for.
True. Okay, I'll take that.
You could have been out there looking for new talent.
Exactly. Allegedly looking for new talent.
Yeah. So it's like real estate. You got to go through the neighborhood to see which properties are available for you to buy.
This don't feel right now, man. Can we get the podcast going? This is not a good intro promo for Podcast 39. He got a record coming out for the fall. He got a new backyard barbecue song coming out.
I'm
saying, man, we work some things going on in the lab with Robert, man. trying to
But hold on though, you brought it up. I mean,
Yeah,
you the one that
exactly.
shouted him, and now that we in, now you want us to pull back?
Here's the deal.
Gosh.
It's supposed to be what some people might call a B-roll conversation that I know is going to probably end up on the podcast. So I just kind of put my foot in my mouth a little bit. You know what I mean? So because B-roll, it just kind of gets out there into the universe sometimes. So I get it.
Sometimes.
So I'm trying to backpedal. You know what I mean? And hoping during editing and final production that this conversation kind of gets left on the cutting room floor.
With that note, let's start the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic. I'm your host, Paul, with Lamont Hayes and my man, Maynard Scales.
What up?
I know we kind of, did a little pregame right there, but before we do start the podcast, our thoughts and prayers go out to everyone who has been affected by Hurricane Harvey. Lamont has already matched Kevin Hart's $25,000 challenge. Even though that Kevin Hart did not give Lamont a shout out, and he was a little pissed about that. It's okay.
No doubt.
But it's all right, Lamont gave us $25,000 now. Ladies and gentlemen, Maynard and I, we're on the $25 plan. So we're not on the $25,000 plan. So if
That's
you would
right.
like to
and I got my
match-
$12.50 right. I got my $12.50, and you got your $12.50.
No, wait a minute. Hold on.
And that's
$25 a piece. That's $25. Come on, son.
Hold on. Wait a minute now.
Jeez. Anyways, if you want to help those in who've been affected by Hurricane Harvey, you can by texting Harvey to 90999. You can make a donation, whatever. I donate $25. I'm putting Maynard on the spot by donating $25. If you want to match Three Black Guys with the Mic, we'd love for you to do that. Again, it is texting the word Harvey to 90999. Any amount works, by everybody who's been affected, by that. So.
I got
and you know what? Matter of fact, Maynard, you could just take the $25 you owe me from the Colin McGregor fight because you said Colin McGregor was going to beat Floyd Mayweather. You could just give me that $25
Did I
and
say
just put
that?
that money up. Just put that money up. Put
I
that
didn't
money
say
up.
that. I was
Maynard
asking. I said Floyd.
Yeah, no, Maynard, you didn't say that. You said that dude from Ireland was coming to Vegas and he was going to beat down Floyd Mayweather. You said that foolishly.
You did say he was
on
an
this
animal.
podcast.
Fake news. I don't know you coming up with these alternative facts, man.
No, you said that, Playboy. Go back. Run the tape. You said that.
Got to do the tell of the tape. You got to do tell of the tape.
Nah, y'all, I don't remember that.
It's all good. Just
I
put
don't
the
remember
$25 up for the money that you said that you was going to give me for Colin McGregor losing. It's okay. Colin McGregor did a good job. He went 10 rounds. He's just outside of his league. That's all. He won $100 million. I mean, he got $100 million that night.
It's a lot of cheese right there, homie.
A lot of cheese for 30 minutes, How can
lot
you be
of
mad?
cheese.
So let's start by recapping last week. Let me just first ask, what in the hell happened? I mean, last week we talked about Colin McGregor, and our show was, should we be protesting for Colin McGregor?
No, Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin Kaepernick.
Colin
I'm sorry, not
Kaepernick.
Colin McGregor. I'm sorry.
Colin
Kaepernick.
We're not standing up for McGregor.
No,
No,
we definitely not standing up for Colin McGregor.
Yeah.
But, our listeners on our Facebook page, and you can go check it out, facebook.com/Three Black Guys with the Mic, and they got into this heated battle over, our podcast and, everything that was going on. Lamont and Maynard, they stirred up the drama, and I don't even know what happened. So, Maynard, what did you do to our fans? What did you do to our fans?
We did
only
not
got
start
10
no
fans
drama.
already. So what was going on?
Lamont, you can start. Yo, Spud said that we stirred up drama. Would you talk to him?
Well, no, I don't think it was that. I think that you just got to be careful, first of all, with Facebook and the internet, because I think we were a victim of some internet trolls. I mean, there were people that were trolling us, that were giving us some very spirited skewed opinions in terms of that Colin was not a great American and all of the wonderful things about America, which, I'll co-sign. America still is a very cool place with all of the problems that we talk about week by week. It is still one of the, not the, but one of the best countries in the world. You know what I mean? So I get all that, but there was just a whole lot of
Where else would you be liking, where else would you like
No.
to live other than America?
See, here we go. See, we're getting ready to start with that. I just said it is one of the best, not the
But
best.
you
And I
also
think
said,
that's.
but what's the best? That's what I'm trying to get to.
I don't. I mean, me personally, I don't think there
Russia?
is a. No. I don't think there
China?
is the best. No, I didn't say that.
Africa?
No.
North Korea.
Well, Africa is a
North
continent.
Korea?
Africa is a continent. We said one of
I'm sorry.
the
You're right. I'm
best.
sorry.
I probably should have said one of the best countries in the world. One of the best. But there are a lot of flag waving, allegedly patriotic. Anybody that says anything bad about America is like the devil. You know what I mean? And there was, again, just a lot of heated debate. Even on the other side, I think there were a lot of people that were on the Colin Kaepernick bandwagon just because he got melanin in his skin, which is cool. I get it. But I'm still of the belief is that first, we always have to be very respectful on our Facebook page. That's the game that we play around here. And those who don't want to get down with that, then we got something for you. Number two,
What would
I
that
think
be
that,
exactly?
we can address
Send
it.
the goons
you know?
out? We're going to send the goons
I mean,
out?
we got internet. We got internet.
goons?
Yeah,
Shout
we
out
got
to
some
Anita
goons.
Randall. She'll get on you. Better watch out.
Exactly. So I think that there was just a lot of both sides of it, and again, I think it's good to have the healthy conversation about it, and again, our Facebook page was a great place for that to take place, man. But I still say I ain't heard from Colin. You know what I'm saying? I need my man to hit me on the Snapchat, DM me, do something. Tell me what you want us to do. Because week by week, it goes by. The season's getting ready to start. Quote unquote, you still don't have no job. But I don't even know if you want a job. I think you might be doing better in the space that you're in right now with all of this conversation that we having about you, because there's value in that. It's clicks and views, just having that kind of conversation going on. So until he tells me what he wants to do, Maynard, hey, man, leave that man alone.
So I think the thing that, hey, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it all the way out. It was a Facebook visitor by the name of Danny Slusser who took a different approach to this, and his opinion and his viewpoints are accepted. We don't have to necessarily agree with him, and he doesn't have to agree with us, but we encourage everybody to make comment, whatever their opinion may be. And to some extent, where Lamont is taking this is, at some point, Danny got a little frisky with his words, and he dropped some F-bombs, and we're kind of cool with that, but when it's directed at people in a mean and negative fashion, like, that's out. Melania Trump says she does not tolerate the internet bullying. She said no bullying on the internet. So we ain't playing that. So, but I spent a moment trying to craft a message to Mr. Slusser, and he said, he apologized.
Did you hit him with the sir? Did you say sir? Sir?
I hit him with some very just reasonable things. And listen, man, we appreciate your voice. Come to the page, share your opinion, but you're gonna have to be respectful of on this page here. And he came back and was like, I apologize. You all seem to be good gentlemen, and I think it's a win for everybody. The Slusser, I don't know that gentleman. I don't know who he is. I can't see like his color or race or anything on his Facebook page. But the idea that he has his opinions, he shared them. And we were able to essentially, by way of Facebook, shake hands and say it's all good. I'm happy. Now, to address the Colin Kaepernick piece, it's been the black athlete for in a lot of ways that has been the voice for the African American or the black here in America. And when we don't stand up for somebody who's standing up for us, when we let them stand out there on their own, we basically are sending that they sent a message to us when they bombed the Birmingham church where the 4 little girls died. That was, hey, if you raise your voice up, we're gonna kill you. They killed Emmett Till as a means to send a message. They killed Martin Luther King to send a message. They put Muhammad Ali in jail to send a message. They took Tommy Smith's medals away from him to send a message. They want you to be quiet. If you're going to allow that to happen, where's the end?
So, baby, let me ask you a question. And I'm with you. I get it. But I immediately just thought about, and we got to have a Malcolm and Martin conversation really quickly, right?
Who's who? Who's who?
Just us. You know what I mean? Like, and I get to standing up. We know that Martin wanted us to take an ass whooping and turn the other cheek, and Malcolm was like, let's get some pistols and let's get this popping. But the common thread that they both had is that they gave us their opinion. They said, okay, this is the way that we should address this injustice. My issue with Colin, and I keep saying this, Playboy, my man ain't said nothing.
But you have an issue with Colin.
No. It's no issue. What I'm saying is that.
Whoa. You just said my issue with Colin.
Okay,
You said
let me say that. And I took it as an issue personally with his stance. So you're correct. So I apologize. My concern is that we are assuming, you know what I mean, a certain thing about Colin. And my thing with Colin is that why is it after all this time, my man has not sent as my grandmother would say, a face snap, a Twitter, a tweet, a tweaker, whatever, something she said one day. I mean, my man has not spoken. Why?
Well, let's say this. I don't know why. I don't know.
What do you want him to say, Lamont?
I want him to say, yo, we gonna boycott this NFL. We gonna do X, Y, and Z. Say something.
But see,
he can't say that.
Thing. This is the thing, though. This is the thing, Lamont.
Why? I mean,
you have an issue. You have an issue with him. Why don't you have an issue with the NFL owners?
You know why?
I didn't hear you say
why?
that once.
To be quite frank,
in addition to that, hold on. In addition to that, do you have an issue with those words, "Land of the free, home of the brave"? Do you take any issue with that? See, you're asking Colin to do something, but you're not prepared to ask Massa to meet him.
You say meet him? What are they meeting at? They meeting in the club?
I'm saying you meet him halfway. Like, okay, Colin, you need to say you want such and such and blah blah blah. But you ain't putting the onus on the owners to do something.
It sounds to me, Manny, that Lamont is saying, how are we following someone who's not leading?
He's not even telling us what to do.
But we don't listen. The idea is that we don't have to follow. Look, if Colin Kaepernick,
what do you mean? You just told me to You told me to turn off my NFL Red Zone. You told me to turn off my
So you got the package already. So you got the package.
Yeah, I got the package. You want me to call Spectrum to cut off the package? They done took my money. You telling me, take my Detroit Lions jersey back? You telling me I got to tell my homies at MetLife I'm not coming to the game? You told me all that, Maynard.
Right, I did. Because what's necessary is evident. What you're telling me is that if there's a woman next door down the street in your country club, community, getting her head beaten by her husband, if she doesn't tell you to call the police, then you like, well, she didn't say it, so I didn't have to do it. No, we recognize that this is a high profile public lynching of this man, because
public lynching.
That's you damn right. You damn betcha.
Man, you have lost your mind. This man throws a pigskin football and has made millions of dollars.
You don't understand the way that they see this again. The squelching or the minimizing of the voice of the black athlete is and black voices in general is historic. And when they can do that to you, when they can do that to him, they are sending the message to other black athletes who happen to have the platform, right? And let's not make no mistake. A lot of times we say we just want this guy to play basketball or play football or throw the ball, whatever. But it's been the black athlete that's been at the forefront almost more than anyone else. When it's come to our rights, it was Paul Robeson. It was Jackie Robinson. It was
Arthur Ashe.
Muhammad Ali, Arthur Ashe. It's been so many, and because they're only, when you go back and look at the ministers, there have been a handful of them, and there have been almost as many black athletes. And so he said, I'm making a stance for black men that look like me, that they should not have to die at the hands of police officers, even in the absence of a crime.
Let me
and
retract. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and they're trying to set an example of like, hey, we're going to do this to him so we can keep the rest of them in line, and maybe we might not keep Marshawn Lynch in line right now, or maybe, but we're going to send this message, and that message is going to be loud and clear up and down the chain. And you black boys, don't get out of hand out here. We're going to kill you.
Let me retract one statement, though, because last week in our conversation, the dialogue was about the national anthem. And that conversation kind of led to all of this in regards to the national anthem has nothing to do with black people. And so I want to retract that because I was wrong on that. And so the first part of the national anthem doesn't speak to anything that has anything to do with African Americans or anything like that, because that's not the part that you hear. However, when you go to the third verse of the national anthem, it does say, "No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave." Now, I went back and did some more research in regards to that and what African Americans and what their role was in the Battle of 1812, which actually led to the writing of the national anthem in the Battle of, in 1814. So African Americans made up at least 15% of the U.S. Navy Corps. Although, we all know that, the U.S. policy forbade, recruitment of black sailors, but because there was a lack of manpower, they allowed for African Americans to enlist or to be a part of the Navy, during that time. So African Americans did play a role in the Battle of 1812 during that time. So I want to take that back. So it does have something to do with African Americans. However, I still stand by the fact of, and Maynard, this is where you can continue, do you think that Colin Kaepernick used the NFL in the wrong way? Should he have taken that battle of fighting the oppressed, fighting black-on-black crime, fighting, let me take that part back, fighting, police brutality, racism? Should he have taken that outside of the field?
No. He should continue. He should take his opportunity. First of all, let's think about this. We have a man in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, who puts on black and gold, who's been accused on multiple occasions of raping or sexually molesting women in public, named Ben Roethlisberger. Colin Kaepernick took a knee. We've had other players who have done all types of things,
but have they done it on the
horrific.
Field, though?
It doesn't matter. It's a morals clause issue. If they feel like somehow he's disrespecting the game, that's a morals clause. If you go out here and you're Ben Roethlisberger or you're player XYZ and you grab a woman in the club and she presses charges, that is a morals clause issue. The contract that he signs, that all of them sign, say, yo, man, you can't go out here and do that. You cannot do that. On, off, somewhere, away from, in America, or foreign soil, whatever. You cannot be accused of beating, of sexually assaulting, groping, rape, any of those kinds of things. Ben Roethlisberger has gotten away with, he's at least been accused on multiple occasions.
Maynard.
Colin Kaepernick took a knee. There was something that hold on, man, let me finish this. There was something that Dave Chappelle said in this concert that he did last week. And the Dave Chappelle show was amazing. And there is such support. He made a joke about, and this is a little bit different, but he made a joke about Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce Jenner. So Bruce Jenner, he went and did this, and they put him on a cover of Vogue, and he was the sports. Didn't he get the ESPY that year or something like that? And all this kind of stuff. And they gave Muhammad Ali hell for wanting to change his own damn name. This man changed his whole sex. And they celebrated him. Muhammad Ali wanted to change his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali, and they gave him all kinds of hell. Caitlyn Jenner decides she, whatever it is, I'm not certain exactly how to address it. And I don't mean no disrespect. I keep wanting to say Bruce Jenner.
She,
okay. did this thing and they celebrate that. People are clapping and everybody just, oh my God, falling all over on Vogue magazine, on ESPN magazine, all at the ESPYs, all this. Colin Kaepernick, all he said is, you know what you're saying in that flag and what that flag is supposed to represent and the ideals of America, that we are all promised life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that this is the home of the free and the land of the brave. That is not ringing true. And I can't stand up and say that that's truth when I know that there are black and brown men who are dying at the hands of police officers. Also, as we're going to get to it later, that Joe Arpaio can ignore the law, ignore court orders, and detain and try to, in fact, expel people just because they look like they might be illegal immigrants, and he is racially profiling. So what he is saying is, we're not going to sit here idly by and be discriminated against to the detriment of our health. I'm not going to stand for that.
So Maynard, are you finished? Because again,
and all you do is take a knee.
But Maynard, you forget, for one, you stole my thunder, as you always try to do, because my thunder is stronger and more potent than your thunder. But I keep trying to tell you, Playboy.
You know that's some Trump biz, right?
You're
bigly, Lamont. You're bigly.
Yeah, I'm bigly. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, that's what I was gonna say. Like, Maynard, until you come to grips of the philosophy and ideology that the white man's ice is colder. Listen, man, Donald J. Trump said, listen, I'm about to run out to AZ. We're going to go to, what's the little ritzy place? And get a little spot treatment. It's not Chandler, whatever the little fancy part of Arizona is.
Scottsdale.
What is Scottsdale? There you go. See, man, you know it very well. He met Joe. They said, yo, we're going to do a little spa day, Playboy. We're going to go play. We can't do 18. We're going to play 9 holes. I'm going to tell you how this is going to go out. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to turn this weather machine on. Unfortunately, I'm going to let this storm go down that's going down right now. I don't already call HARP. And I'm going to go ahead where everybody worrying about that, and I'm going to give you this part, and you're going to be good. That's how they roll. So even with the owners and even on so many other levels, Maynard, we have to stop trying to play their game. You know what I mean? Because they make the rules in that game.
You know, the funny thing is what if we, if King had said, you know what, we're not going to play their game. We're going to let them do, because their ice is colder. We're not going to march in Selma. We're not going to go.
No. Martin really knew that. You know why? Because if you talk to LBJ, God rest his soul, he's no longer here. That's why he was always up there at 1600. Like, look, LB, you give me this, I'm going to get you that. Am I not correct? And for those who don't know, LB is that, the former president of the United States. So he already knew about their ice. That's why he was always up at 1600.
He knew that the president had juice.
No.
This is the thing. What you're trying to tell me. What you're trying to tell me is we don't need, because I hear we don't need to be in white folks' business kind of conversation occurring.
Well, certain business we do need to stay out their business.
This is our business. This is our business. When our young men, sometimes even our women, Sandra Bland and others, are dying at the hands of officers.
Right, but what does it have to do with my man throwing a football? And that's my point exactly. While we worrying about, hold up.
That has been his thing. He said this flag does not. This flag and this.
Maynard, let me breathe. And Spud said this best. I'm with you. The conversation and the sentiment is there, but us having a conversation on Sunday about it, when on Saturday night in Chicago and Cleveland and Detroit and St. Louis and Pittsburgh, where the Brown brothers getting shot. Like I just read in Chicago over the weekend, it was 27 dead. You feel what I'm saying? So me boycotting, not watching the Lions play New England the other night, how does that help those little brown boys on the street in Chicago? Because if we talking about how we going to do that, then yo, dog, I don't need Colin to tell me nothing about that. Let's go get busy on that front.
Okay, so this is what that does. This is what it does. When we can say, we can shut down the NFL one weekend because we are 70% of the players in the NFL. 70%.
What does that have to do with the boys shooting each other on the south side of Chicago, Playboy?
Lamont, it's all connected. First step is this. When we as black men can stand up and say we're not allowing certain things, and we can bring, say, for instance, an organization as strong and as powerful as the NFL to its knees and make them at least come to the table and deal with this man and deal with other issues relating to black people, then we can then turn around and say and teach the lesson back to so many other black men who can teach the lesson to so many other black boys that your voice means something in this country, that you don't have to resort to certain things. It starts by believing in yourself. And so much of the crime that's out there certainly is related to drugs, and certainly is related to respect, and certainly is related to, other types of issues that are all on the surface. Those are the things that are on the surface. But what's really happening is deep down in so many of these young men's hearts and so many of their psyches is that they're damaged and bruised people. And they need to know that they're important. They need to know that they have value in this country. And if they can't, as Spud says, Black lives don't matter. If they can't believe that they matter, then they can't believe that life is valuable. And if they can't believe that life is valuable, then why not kill someone else?
All right, let's leave it right there. Let's keep it moving to Joe Arpaio. Lamont said that him and Donald Trump was sitting in Scottsdale hanging out, just chilling, and that's how he got his pardon. However, to Maynard's point, a little bit of the backstory is if you don't know, Google Joe Arpaio. This is what I would say a corrupt sheriff or whatever. Election law violation, unconstitutional jail conditions, election law violation. Misuse of funds, racial profiling, as Maynard said. But here is my thought process. The reason why, and again, this is just all speculation, and Maynard, you can expand on this because you know more of the backstory than I do. This is just my philosophy on why Donald Trump said, listen, you're going to get this pass. We all know that you were found guilty, of criminal contempt of court, but I'm going to give you this pass because you helped me in 2012 with this birther movement. Because Joe Arpaio was one of the people who actually helped Donald Trump lead the birther movement against President Barack Obama. And that's my reason. But in regards to, the real reason why he got pardon, because he was going to jail. Basically, he violated an order of court by failing to ensure his subordinates' compliance and by directing them to continue to detain persons for whom no criminal charges could be filed. So, here's the conversation, Maynard. How does this compare to Chelsea Manning, Oscar Lopez, who did Clinton pardon? Susan somebody, I forgot her name. How does this compare to, let's just take Chelsea Manning.
So let's back up. Don't get. Hey, I know what you're saying here. I know what happened. Donald Trump went on this rant, this rant today or yesterday, and said, "Well, Clinton pardoned these people and Obama pardoned those people, and this and that." You know what? Nobody cares about that. We're not discussing that part. Why? Because this is one thing that's critical.
But we got to be fair, because we do have Democrats, we do have Republicans, we do have independents, we have all people listed in the podcast. That's
very true. But this is the difference. The sheriff, Arpaio, who's not the sheriff currently, he did lose in the most recent election. He systematically violated the civil rights of Americans and of other people. He had the authority to violate those people's rights. So, and let's go, and we'll add one other person into this conversation. David Clark out in Wisconsin, the sheriff there. And so when Trump says, "Hey, you did this, and the judge said it was wrong, and the blah blah blah," guess what? I don't care what the justice system says. I get to do what I want to do. Now, it's one thing when someone serves some time. Many of the people that have been pardoned, Frank Rich, the Susan lady who was with Weather Underground, and so many others had served some time. Ohio served none. That's A. B, when you tell law enforcement the way that the attorney generals around the country have been telling them so often that you can violate people's rights and it's okay, I got your back, the message that's being sent is that every sheriff or every police officer can basically do what David Clark did in Wisconsin, which is he didn't feed a prisoner or provide water for that prisoner for 7 days. He died. They get to treat people who are not like themselves, who are black, brown, or other than white, like they are disposable and dispensable. And as a result, people get hurt.
Okay. This is where you come in, Lamont.
I mean, I was taking a nap, so I didn't know if Maynard was done with all of that foolishness. So give me a second. I'm trying to wake up really quickly. I'm sorry.
Okay. You need me to sound the alarm?
Yeah. Could hit the alarm? Because Maynard I swear he just put me to sleep. This is real simple. And I'm gonna use Maynard as an example. If I was a president and Maynard was the sheriff, the former sheriff over there in what was it, Maricopa County? Is that what it was? I would do the same. Yeah, I would do the same thing. I don't care if he was wrong. If I got the ability to pardon my buddy, he's pardoned. Boop.
Oh,
and whoever
come
don't
on.
like it.
Kwame couldn't get, he can hook his homeboys up. He got his jail time.
Listen. No. but Kwame could have had 9 years and been home by now. You feel what I'm saying? So
ooh, good point.
Let's not get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be big boy, and I get it because he thought he could win. But they offered him a couple of deals that he said no to. So all I'm gonna say is what I've been saying. They believe that their ice is colder. They believe that this is their land, that they are there to make America great again. And they're just doing what we know for them to do. So all of the pontificating and the periperating and the psychoanalysis of all this other kind of shenanigans. Listen, man, Donald Trump is cut and dry. He doesn't give two hoots about what you think. He's going to do what he thinks is best for him and his friends in this United States of America. And that's it. Period.
Lamont, I do got to ask you this, though.
Uh-huh.
But where does it stop? Because let me just go back to Maynard's point. Because it does sound like, it's the same record over and over again. Because it sounds to me as if you're saying, and I want to make sure that, I'm hearing you correctly, but to the listener, it may sound like you're saying white people are on a pedestal and they get to do whatever they want to do. And we don't get to fight for our rights in that scenario. We just got to continue to let them do what they want to do because their ice is colder, and we need to stay out of their business, and we just need to allow them to do whatever it is that they want to do and let them get a pass 100 times over, and we just need to stay in our place. That's what it sounds like. I know that's not what you're saying.
That's what he's saying. No, that's what he's saying.
No, it's not.
That's what he's saying. That's what you're saying.
I don't believe that that's what you're saying.
Lamont, don't you make me come down. I ain't nice like boss.
No, here's what I'm saying. And this is very simple. And we're not going to try to make...
Go ahead, tell us, Steve.
We're not going to try to put a big super duper hypothesis on this. There's no such thing as all. You know what I mean? And when we talk about people who are non-black, who are I don't know what you want to say, who don't have melanin in their skin, you know what I mean? Who are not brown, red, or yellow. It's like, they're not all bad, but let's also be very clear. There is a certain, what we consider to be white group of people in this country that really do believe that their ice is colder, bro. The whole Charlottesville thing, although it wasn't a large contingency of people on that alt-right side, because as we call them, the counter-protesters, there was some white people on that side as well. So there's no such thing as all. So let's kind of get that out of the mix, because there are out of the conversation, there are a lot of white people that are very, sympathetic and understand and are very, similar in our opinions on a lot of these issues. But let's not get it twisted. Historically, Donald J. Trump, way before he was a president, way before he did X, Y, and Z. We could talk about Central Park 5. When was that, Maynard? What was that? That was 80s, right?
80s.
We was in the 80s then, right? So we in the 2017. So we're talking about a 70-plus-year-old non-black male from Queens, New York, who has told you over and over he don't like black people. His pappy don't like black people. Never liked them. So, and not just black people, but I'll just say people of a certain economic space that they're not in. He don't like them. He's not here for you. He don't care nothing about you. So he and his constituents are the ones that I talk about all the time that believe that their ice is colder. Period.
Yeah, but you make the argument of making people think that we just got to accept that their ice is colder, and that's that. Now, I know you're not utilizing the word all in the context of all white people think that way. However, when you continue to utilize the narrative of their ice is colder, we need to stay out of white folks' business, it kind of sounds like, okay, white folks, y'all keep doing what y'all doing, and we just got to accept it for what it is, and we don't get to call you on the carpet when you guys feel like you can do whatever it is that you want to do. We can go back to Central Park 5. He's never even apologized to anybody in the Central Park 5. Now, let's go back to, the birther movement, right? So this is, to your point, this is his man. Oh, I owe you one. Right? Nobody gave him really no campaign money for real. That was his, argument. However, Joe Arpaio was basically one of those people who was, by his side during the birther movement. So it's like, oh, yo, you see I'm in a bind. You better come down here to AZ and, pardon me, because I was down with you during this, birther movement. However, we don't get to call him on the carpet for those things. And when we say the white man's ice is colder, which I agree with, it makes us sound as if we got to stay in our place. We're second-class citizens. We are never going to match up to white privilege. Black folks are never going to be able to, or brown folks or either red folks are never going to be able to accomplish anything on that white privilege scale. And we just got to stay out of their business, which I know that that's not what you're saying. However, you don't balance that with what should we be doing to combat that argument or combat that privilege?
So let me give you this, and we're going to use a play.
Use Maynard. I always like when you talk about Maynard.
No. We're going to leave Maynard out of this. one. We're going to use 44, a.k.a. B-Rock, right? We're going to use him as an example, and I think with what you're saying, I get it. I see how some people may even think that, but even throughout the whole particular birther movement, right? He let it fester. He's like, okay, well, maybe 2-3 more news cycles, this thing will go away, or he'll keep it pushing, whatever. He kind of didn't address it. He just kind of made sure he stayed on his message, on his course. And you use this term about calling them on the carpet. I feel like we use a lot of time and energy and space in quote unquote calling people on the carpet. It's like you're talking to somebody, and I always say this too, is that I can't talk calculus to somebody who doesn't understand basic math. So trying to get Donald Trump and his constituents, people in his staff, people at 1600 that roll with T-Rump about Black Lives Matter, because he does not give a hoot. You all could die tomorrow, and he'd be like, oh, okay, whatever. Who's going to serve me my food? And I'm just assuming that's
you utilizing the word y'all like you're not a part of the Black Lives Matter movement.
I'm there. I'm there. But just roll with me, because I know Maynard's over there. He's ready to chomp at the bit and ready to just chop me off at the knees. But B-Rock showed me is that, you know what? Okay, you keep giving me this. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and release my birth certificate. I'm still going to give you too much energy on that because I'm trying to make sure I stay on message over here. Michelle told us, when they go low, we go high. So I'll say it again, calling them on the carpet, talking to them about the NFL owners, we're going to boycott. Listen, man, I'm not doing all that. But what I am going to do are going to be some things that you might not necessarily see, which I think that was a lot of the success stories of Barack Hussein Obama, is that he's not going to tell you that he's coming. And you know what? I'm not a fan of Donald J. Trump, but I'm going to tell you something he said that was right, even though he didn't do it. So he lied about that too. But when he got up on that podium and he said, listen, I'm not going to tell you all how many troops you're going to have in Afghanistan, and I'm not going to tell you when we're going to bomb. I'm not going to give you my playbook, which is really what you're supposed to do, not just in that example, but in all examples. And again, not 24 hours later, this dumb guy, he messed around and did exactly what he said he wasn't going to do. So I say all that to say is that at the end of the day, we got to stop, I think, calling people or arguing and do more of executing. And I'm not going to tell you everything I'm going to execute. Yes, I'm going to keep my NFL red zone package. It ain't gonna change.
But Lamont, okay. What? So I gotta ask this, and Maynard, I know. Thank you for your patience. I thank you for your patience. However, so Lamont, the problem with what you are saying, which I'm a fan of, is it's challenging for us to be in a position to keep our plan quiet when, one, like you said, brown bodies and black bodies are getting killed on the south side of Chicago and in Detroit and in St. Louis, and there are thousands of people right now who have lost their homes in Houston. When there is no game plan, when there's no voice to the voiceless, how do you expect for those people to rise up? Because they don't have any leadership or voice, or they don't have any direction or anything of that nature, which kind of goes back to Maynard's point in regards to Colin Kaepernick, right? So if you're not standing with Colin Kaepernick, it says black folks don't never stand by anybody. Now, so let me go back to your point. I'm almost done, man. Let me go back to your point. In agreement with Colin Kaepernick. When Colin Kaepernick is not saying, listen, this is the reason why I took a knee. Now, he has the right to just keep that silent and, but this is the reason why I took a knee. For America, for the guys that are young black men, this is the reason why I took a knee. This is the reason why I feel we should be protesting the national anthem. Now, that sends a message to everyone to say, oh, okay, I get it. Because 99% of the people don't know. But to your point, if you can't read between the lines, you kind of really don't know why Colin Kaepernick is taking a knee. Because he's not a voice to the voiceless. He's just out there, here go $35,000 here, $50,000 here, blah, 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 blah. So, if we don't say something, how do and I'm done.
Right.
I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Maynard.
He was singing Negro spirituals. He was getting ready to hit us with the "We Shall Overcome." Maynard, you got it. I'm a backup, baby. This is all you right now.
The one thing that's been interesting is that in our lifetimes, and we're all, within a few years of one another. I'm 36, and I know you guys are in your 50s, but whatever. I'm
sure people can tell by the face.
Yeah. So growing up in the 70s and the 80s as 40-plus-year-old men, we saw and we have been seeing a nosedive, if you will, on Klan activity through, say, like the mid 80s. It kind of it started dying. And we know that there were a few things. And one of the things that occurred is that the Klan was this company or was an organization, and it was kind of singular. And there was a death attributed to the Klan. A man named McDonald, I believe his last name was, in Georgia. And as a result, the Klan was sued, and it helped to disband the Klan. We went after that money, and his family went after that money, and people went to jail, and all kinds of stuff went down. As a result, the Klan, as a national organization, as a company, as an organization that was attached to one another, disbanded, and it sent them into a tailspin in many ways. So through the 90s, they were kind of really just unorganized and not able to kind of make it. And they were crying the blues. The white man is losing power. We want to have the power. And then in the the early 2000s, they were still out there with their voices. And then now all of a sudden they're like, yo, we don't even need these robes no more. We just gonna go out here. We white powering it up. We telling people we ain't gonna be replaced. We're advocating violence against non-whites across the country. And what I'm saying is, when our voices disappear, particularly the voice of the black man, when our voices disappear, we make too much space for the voices of hate and racism and bigotry and Nazism and fascism. So fascism, I should say, not fascism. I had too many isms. So Lamont, if you advocating for like, hey, let's just mind our business and keep quiet, that's fine.
Well, I think that, to quote the great Charlemagne the God.
Oh my goodness, he's great again.
Yep, he's great. He's great.
He was on TMZ and he said that, more white people need to call out white supremacists. He said when it comes to white supremacists and white people, he wants white people to join him in calling out white supremacists and calling them white devils and cracker ass crackers. Is that the answer, Lamont? Should more white people be calling white supremacists cracker ass crackers and white devils?
No, that's too aggressive, bro. Like, come on, we're not there yet. I mean, I'm not.
What?
Maynard. You want me to get aggressive? That's what you want, Maynard?
You don't think we should call these people out?
I'm not saying,
hold on. Hold on for a second. It's too aggressive. It's too aggressive to call out a person who openly advocates for.
So let me ask you. So Charlottesville, that wasn't aggressive. That wasn't too aggressive.
It's too aggressive to call a person out who openly advocates for violence against black people.
No. Here's what I said, Maynard. You gonna let me speak now, brother? I know it's been a hard day for you. You know what I'm saying?
He said, let me make sure so you understand. Spud said there are white supremacists out here, and we should call them out. Call them out in the most aggressive ways to bring a light to this. That Charlemagne the God said we should call them out and say you're a white devil, you're this, you're a cracker ass cracker, but call them out. And you said, nah, they should let them breathe a little bit.
You finished? You let me speak now? You finished?
Hold on, let me just check with Spud. Spud, is that pretty much is that pretty much what was said there?
You did kind of say that's a little bit too aggressive, but let me just make sure that we're clear. What Charlemagne was saying, in addition to us, is that white people need to join him in calling out white supremacists by calling them white devils and cracker ass crackers.
Thank you, Spud. What I was saying was,
what's wrong with calling? What's wrong with that?
Here's the deal. And when I say it's not aggressive, I mean what I was too aggressive is, as I said earlier, as what he's advocating. Let's stay out of white folks' business. If white folks, let them handle that. Maynard, you so busy worrying about somebody else in their business. Let them white folks take care of that.
No, what you were saying, what you just said a second ago is, they shouldn't. Lamont, what you just said was, they shouldn't do that. It's too aggressive. We don't want to hurt the white supremacist feelings. Come on, man. Are you kidding me?
You let me finish?
Hold on. Let me check. Let me see here. So,
give me a list.
You working a white man record right now?
Not at all. What I'm saying is very simplistic.
Are you working some Kid Rock records?
No. And I'll be honest with you, I'm trying to be a little bit more refined and not use a lot of the real language I want to use, especially with Mr. Ritchie. You know what I mean? Like, and even utilizing terms, and what I was going to say is, when I was talking about also aggressive, I don't want to talk about the crack-ass crackers. I'm not, I feel like me personally, we're on a different level than that right now. You know what I'm saying? Of using, maybe 20, 30 years ago, that kind of conversation was where we was at. But I think that there's a way that you can call people out. Because again, and you might not like this, no matter, and a few other people I talked to, they might not like it either. I think Donald Trump is an imbecile. I think he has like the mindset of a frog. he has the ability to run this country no different than, my neighbor's dog. But when I hear people talk all of this certain level of disrespect to this dude, I just don't acknowledge that, because that's just how I roll. You feel what I'm saying? Like, Maynard, you might eat chitlins. I just don't. That's just how I roll. So even with the white supremacists, and in terms of what I said earlier about Charlemagne the God and his position, let them white folks handle those, as he would call it, cracker-ass crackers. I don't want to use that language. I'm good. I don't need to do that. So that's just kind of, again, where I'm at in my headspace.
Yeah, but the thing is will they? Right? I mean, I think he's asking for white folks to join him in calling them out, so that way that the white supremacists can actually see what they actually look like. Now, and to your point, Lamont, what I disagree with in regards to calling them, white devils and cracker-ass crackers is, it's, in my opinion, that only escalates the situation. And going back to Killer Mike, we're not in the position to fight no war against no white folks right now. We don't got the resources, the manpower, or any of that. So to me, it just only escalates more tension and divide between white people and black people.
Listen to Maynard, we ready to go to war. We gonna call them out. We gonna stand up and fight, and we gonna tell the owners of the NFL, the hell with you, and because we ready.
Let me say this, man.
Exactly.
If those black men in the NFL, first of all, the players union let them down. The players union has let them down, but that's a whole other thing. But those black men who make up 70% of the NFL, and let's make no mistake, this happens every year around the country in some city. Happened not long ago in Philadelphia. Happened not long ago in a couple other cities. I think Detroit faced this a little bit ago themselves. One day, the police decide that they're not getting the contract they want. They go to work. And then the next day, they be like, okay, we're going to have the blue flu. Can't work today, boss. Why? I'm sick, boss. If 70% of the 70% of the NFL, which are black men, decided, can't work today, boss. I'm going to suit up, but my knee hurt, and just took a knee and said, I can't do it, the NFL will get the message and fix that ish right away. Trust me, and trust and believe. Because don't nobody want to see, God bless them, there's like 3 good white running backs in the NFL. They can't play on all the teams. It's only 3 of them, 4 or 5 maybe. Every team got black running backs and black receivers in their key positions.
But man, we don't have that kind of unity, man. You know that. Come on.
That's what I'm. God, goodness gracious, that's what I'm advocating for.
Stop.
Ninja.
Stop.
Ninja.
But if we boycott, if we boycott the NFL, then Lamont, maybe we will start to get some of that unity.
Lamont, though, if you say it, it's true. If you say you can't do something, you can't. But if you say you can, you can. But you know what? In Lamont's world, we just can't. Black people, we're incapable. I get it, Lamont.
You feeling good today, aren't you, Maynard?
I'm horrible right now. I was, 3 black guys with a mic can never reach 15 million people.
Why not?
Because once you say you can't, you can't.
Donald Trump is going to help us get that 15 million, man.
I hope not. I hope we just do it on our own. And if you are a listener, I hope that you will do us a favor and share this podcast with 15 people so we can get to 15 million. Thank you so very much.
I had to get Maynard that ball, man. I had to try to throw him off the square, bro.
So I mean, how's Donald Trump getting? Did you gave it to Dr. Ben, and Dr. Ben is gonna give it to D. Trump when they riding around in the limo together?
Well, I really just put that out of my ass. I have no idea if Donald, so.
Let me ask this real quick before we go, before we get to the cactus. Let me ask this. Is Remy Ma taking it too far, Lamont? She took another shot at Nicki Minaj. Is she going too far? She won the battle. She lost the war, but she won the battle. Is she trying to, speaking of, cracker-ass crackers, is she trying to engage Nicki Minaj
exactly
in an unnecessary, battle?
Well, here's what I'm gonna say, man. First of all, Remy, you looked amazing last night. You know what I'm saying?
Amen to that one.
You were looking like a star. I don't know who's in Remy's ear. One time the papoose, we love you, brother, but She played herself last night. She played herself on an international platform. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong, Nikki closed the show out. What was that? Katy Perry?
Yeah.
Was that Katy? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, the record was whack to me. You know what I'm saying? But she was Katy Perry. So it's like, Nikki, you almost got, I'm not Nikki, but Remy, you almost got to fall back, play your position, and get ready to do whatever it is you're going to do. And it's almost like I'm feeling like it just seemed corny. It was forced, and you just kind of played yourself, you know? So hopefully it's Monday. You can recover. Let's focus on Tuesday and Wednesday, and you get a hot record. That's all you can do, because all of that, you know, Nikki, what's good? That's whack. I mean, that's, you know, that was not the place for that, you know? And again, that's just me, my opinion. And again, she looked amazing. That's all I can say. She looked really, really well. That was it.
So I don't disagree with much of what you said. It was whacked. It was whack. That was a thirsty move right there.
Right.
But Lamont, what you're saying is that Nikki won because she was on stage with Katy Perry. There you go again. That black folks can't have their own level of success unless they got some white person co-signing. I am, God,
You know what,
gracious. I mean,
You know
Black
what?
man can't be successful unless he got a white woman on his arm.
oh, Lamont. Let me. Hold on, Lamont. This is what you said, and let me make sure you understand it. Because Spud, tell me if I'm lying. Was that Katy Perry? Was that Katy Perry? Ninja, you know that was Katy Perry. You know. Ooh, that was Katy Perry. Ooh, Katy Perry. Katy Perry, she's such a star. And Nikki was with Katy Perry. You know what?
Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Damn.
So Maynard, you gonna throw your man under the bus like that? You're gonna Trumpify my words? Is that what you're doing?
Let me tell you, in the words of the great Eddie Murphy, you did that to yourself.
You're Trumpifying right now, bro. You know what I'm saying? You giving me that Trump energy. Man.
Yeah, Remy Ma, we need the records, baby. You know, cause until you can compete with I pulled out the pink Lamborghini just to race with China, bought the race with China. Until you can get to that, Remy Ma, I need some records right now. That's all we need to see from you right now is some records. That's 2000, and you know that's old news. You know, you won that battle, but
see, but I still have an issue. Because you said that earlier. Is that?
Oh, she won the battle.
No,
she didn't win the war.
Yo, hold up. I don't know because.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?
I've said this before. The Sheether record was on fire. Let's not get it twisted.
That's the battle.
Hold up. But everybody's acting like that record that Nicki had with Lil Wayne and with Drizzy Drake was not hot. You cannot act like that was not a hot record.
Okay, hold on. Let me ask this quick question.
Listen, they put too much Pope in the Kettle One. Too much Pope in the Kettle One, my brother.
Lamont,
too much Pope.
What was the name of the record with Nicki Minaj, Drake, and Wayne?
You heard him say too much Pope. You know, shout out to Kettle One. You already know I'm on my third glass, so I have no idea.
Right, but you said the Sheether record. It was called No Frauds. Looking back now, don't nobody remember the No Frauds record like talking about. It was supposed to be a summertime banger. I wasn't hearing it all summer.
I ain't hear it at all. I saw the video a couple times. So now, if you want to talk about records, pull out the pink Lamborghini just to race with China. Now that's the record.
So again, that's what I'm trying to tell you is that Nicki makes better records.
Yeah, she won the war.
The war. He's saying that's the war. But the battle was actually the Sheether rap battle. The No Frauds record was nice. It was definitely a bigger, well-produced. It was like a well-produced studio record. Sheether was like, yo, I'm about to get in the studio real quick. I'm about to, yo, turn my headphones up real quick. All right, I got some ish I want to say about you. And that was how that went down. Nicki's thing was all planned out. They got producers and everybody together. And we should you ever think we should have 16 or should it be 8 bars? I don't know. Should we do a A-B rhythmic? Nah.
Hey, wait, should I say this or not? Hey, Drake, do you think I should say this line? You think I should say this line?
Can we? You know what? I don't want it. I don't want that. Let's
Right.
drop that one more time.
Right.
But
right.
no. Remy went in on emotion and pure, like, yo, we going with the hands.
How many spins did you get for that record, Lamont? Did you go back to your BDS and see how many spins you got for that one?
Is it time for the cactus, gentlemen?
It's time for the cactus, ladies and gentlemen. This is when somebody says something stupid during the week and they got to choke on their words. Maynard, who is choking this week? Who are you giving the cactus to,
this
my
week?
brother?
I'm thinking about this podcast, but I ain't gonna go there right now. I ain't gonna go there. I'm gonna let, as the man says, I'm gonna let somebody on this podcast breathe, because I'm not for the black on black violence right there. But I got this different kind of cactus this week, because I 2 weekends ago I decided, let me back up. I got a little ritual. So at 9 a.m. on Sunday, I like to watch Meet the Press. At 7 o'clock, I like to watch 60 Minutes. Then I like to get into my TV viewing, whether it's Power and whatever else, Ballers, Insecure, et cetera, et cetera. I know that people out here got the Starz app, the HBO app, the Showtime app. Didn't nobody ask y'all asses to go on Facebook and tell me that Raina died at 9 a.m. when the damn show don't come on until 9 o'clock at night? So for all the people.
Oh, you didn't get the leaks?
All the people
Sorry.
who want to, I got the app too, right? I watched Insecure yesterday early in the morning because I knew I was going to be hanging out with a friend late in the evening. And so I watch them in advance as well. But I'm not going on Facebook, on Twitter, on whatever else, the gram, talking about, did you see what Issa did or such and such? Amalia is still smashing Dro at 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. So you all who decide that you want to watch the show just after midnight when it comes out on the internet, stop putting it on Facebook and all the other places and ruining the damn and being spoilers. You all deserve cactus. All of you. Stop doing it. You're messing up my Sunday, man. Shit. I'm done.
Well, I just want to thank everyone
Lamont, you need a little baby cactus, though. You done said some real crazy ish to me. And that's my word. I'm sorry. You can't make me take it back. You get some cactus, too.
Well, I just want to thank everyone who Facebook Live and live streamed the Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather fight.
No doubt.
I just want, speaking of those who are leaking content, I just want to thank y'all for leaking that content, because I love you, Money Mayweather, but I just can't part with $100, man. I just can't part with $100. I just can't do it, my brother. I just can't do it. So, whew. Well, that is our show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We'll be back again with another episode of Three Black Guys with the Mic on Tuesday. Make sure you join in on the conversation as you did last week at Three Black Guys with Me, or Facebook.com/Three Black Guys with the Mic. Again, that's Facebook.com/Three Black Guys with the Mic, and we will holla until next Tuesday. Tell 15 people about this podcast so we can get to 15 million and we don't have to utilize Donald Trump to do it. Thanks.
Boo.